I'm going to go over a battle report. So again, time and time again, a lot of people keep asking me the same thing. What tech should I push? How do I get stronger? What areas can I improve? Things like that. So really what I'm going to really cover in a quick basis here is first a battle report, but this is another really great feature that they added, obviously, as the season 1 starts. You can see the calendar. So we have the Glittering Market, as you can see, 21st to the 26th. Again, I think this is really good. What I like to do, too, here is if you're unfamiliar with this, you can search what you want to look for. So I love these. I like to search, like, my biggest thing is a level 5 to where I can get it, and I can get those in the summons boxes, right? So I'll go in here and see. I also like this. These are all great, but I want to see what events they are. So I know that's in there. I can see here the chip materials. I know that's in the Glittering Market. So again, I love the chip skills and everything else. My suggestion is rather than buying these weekly deals, wait for a big event to come up. These are okay, right? Glittering Market, I think honestly is the best bang for your buck. You get a lot more rewards as well as stuff with it. So if you're spending, let's say you're spending on your chips, just for example, you're buying this out, right? And then you're going 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. You're not really getting too much besides that, where if you're doing the Glittering Market, you're going to get a bonus of stuff, obviously, because it works its way up, right? So that's why I said look for that. So I'm obviously going to do another video when it comes out on the 21st, which is going to be that Tuesday. So we have a couple days till then, and I'll go over some of the stuff I think is good to buy, what I would pass on. We can see that this already passed. All this other stuff's coming up. But again, really what I want to touch on is the battle report. So I get a lot of questions for people, so what I'm going to do is go into it right now and show you guys what my suggestion is. So we're going to go to Maggie, who sent me one. I'm going to look at this. This is against one of the whales. Again, this is a rally, so obviously this is going to be a little bit jaded, but let's look at hers in comparison to um, his, right? So let's go. So we obviously have a couple rounds here, but let's go and look at the most. Here's the one I want to look at. So we can see here we actually won this one, but we're going to see why in a second. We're going to look at gear. So the only advantage this person has right here is the we can see here is their red gun for DVA, right? And this is obviously tank, so they have an advantage there. So we're just looking at this real fast. She did lose against their whale, but again, this is a rally, so this is fully stacked. You can see that that his drone components are a little bit better. Again, like I always talk about, that red rocket or missile is super hard to get to level 8. That's why I said if you get any of those, you want to upgrade that as fast as possible. We come into here, we can see the advantage she had is the damage taken, which obviously if you go into here, this is great. You can click on this and you can see where you're at, right? So that's maxed out. So we know that Maggie has some other damage reduction coming from somewhere else. It looks like it's probably defense fortification, or it's coming from her hero gear as well. We can look in there and see. We can also see in here, we'd have to go in, but we can go to her heroes and we can kind of see what we get with that. So, sorry, I'm on my account, but we can kind of go in her heroes and we can see what she has on certain things. So, just to give a comparison, we'll go into mine and look at level 1 radar and see what that looks like. Just fine. So we'll see what the shield looks like here. So we can see that physical damage is 10% taken off. And we can also see a huge boost. So total is 2.51. So we can see that percentage. So most likely it's coming from Williamson and her other tank heroes. But we'll go back into there and we'll take a look again. What we want to see essentially is right here, Mommy Smurf. We want to see what it looked like when they went against each other, which is tough because it looks like as we go through, we can see the rounds that he just destroyed a lot of them. But we can see where they won. She beat most of them. We can also see here. So here's a good one right here. So round 4, Maggie beat them based off her missile, right? Which is crazy. Actually, I'm sorry. She actually lost. So I want to find a comparison to where it was good, which would be probably right around here. This is around relatively the same. So we can see here, this is round 6. So you can imagine that. So again, the only advantage I see here is obviously this is Maggie's um, second squad, which is extremely strong. As you can see, this is someone's probably first or second as well. I haven't seen her other ones, but it doesn't look like she's pushing too much on air. If she is, then I'd like to see her second one. But anyway, we can see the advantage obviously is going to be in the offensive side on the gold. She also has all of her radar as well as her shields on most of her heroes done, except for a few. Looks like Sky. And then we can come on the other side and we can see that Lucas is done. Again, Maggie's not doesn't look like Maggie's really pushing this. She's pushing more of her tank as her first one. She's doing two that she's really outfitting. Essentially, she's kind of pushing the third one, but not really. But we can see here most of the levels a little bit different. Carly is not as far. She does have more higher levels as far as everything we can see here, so she's pushing that aspect. She has DVA maxed out except for Wood. And then we come over here and we look at Lucas, relatively around the same. Sky's lacking a little bit comparison to hers. We can see the difference in powers, a big difference because they're pushing. She's pushing her heroes on this. We come here, the drone levels are relatively the same. The chips is where her advantage is going to be. You can see they're all at, some are at, looks like 4 and some are at 3. And she pushed mostly, one was a shield, which will cover more defense, and one is a attack. So she kind of went 1 and 1. You can see too here, this is a huge advantage to the drone components. Huge, huge advantage. Like I said, one of the hardest things to do is get level 8 rockets. That's why I said, and I'll keep reiterating it, if you get a chance to get a level 5 box and do whatever you want, like get it, whatever you want, go with the missile. I can't say it enough. I don't know if I said it already. Go with the missile, right? Huge. So then we come here. This is, like I said, comparison to someone of your size, or you go against a couple of battles. If you keep seeing these deficits like 2% or down here at 7%, this is the area you want to work. And lo and behold, what is one of the areas that I keep telling people to push is the unit morale boost. This is one of the biggest things I see with a lot of the top players in our server size or even around our servers there. I also see a lot in the missile. A lot of people are pushing that area right here. And again, you can click on this. You can see where the difference is, where they're getting it from. Right? I can click on here and see it. I can go up here and I can see where she's getting it from, where she's getting it from her units. But like I said, like just in this case, but it can't be skewed. You have to see a few. So if I was to look at Maggie's other reports, 5 of the same ones similar to this, or a player similar in stature, I'd look at these and say, all right, well, the average lowest one that you keep getting beat are these two. Those are the two I'm working on. If I'm pushing T10s, it's different. Maggie's advice I'm giving her is totally different than someone else. If you're a higher spender, I'm going to give you different advice than someone who's spending, a couple $100. Her weekly budget might be your monthly budget, and that's fine. Everyone's at different spots. Like I keep reiterating, the only difference between someone who's free to play and someone who pays is they're getting there faster. It's all about patience in this game, but it's also about understanding and learning from your mistakes, right? So here, not even mistakes, but how to grow. Here, she's lacking a little bit in her aircraft. Obviously, you can see this are aircraft units, but I know that Maggie's pushing for T10s, so she's working in certain areas, but that does give her a little boost. We can see the power for decorations, which I do like decorations. Like I said, goal is to get them level 4 if you can. That's just the average I would say to shoot for. But we can see there, and then we go in here and we want to see what the damage difference is. So remember, she has more drone components. She also has more of the chips. So we come in here, and you can see how much more damage her 2 heroes did with the red gear on. It's at 8 million, and we have 10 million. So in comparison, that's almost double. That's almost half of what Morrison got for her. And then we can see Sky 2 million more, and then DVA is, around 6 million more. That's a huge difference. We come here, and the difference in there actually, if you look on her side, her 2 front heroes actually took more damage, which tells me that's not bad. It's her offense that's lacking. And obviously, we come here and we also want to look at what the difference is as far as down here, and we can see they both have the same amount. They're both doesn't look like neither have T10s yet. So that's, like I said, it's a totality of all this stuff, right? This is why you want to make your weaknesses your strengths. That 2% I want to get up. I want to make it stronger. I want to make all these equal or neutral So they're not getting that advantage anymore, and I'm pushing. You want to, because obviously this is where the huge thing is, and you can see right here. You look at their HP or hero defense, how much of a difference there is. It doesn't seem like a lot, but all this added up is making a huge difference. And then we come up here and we can see that, right? So that's what I would say, guys. Look at a couple reports of recent battles you had, and just compare where you're lacking or where you're getting beat really bad at. If they're all the same for each one, then that's the areas you have to improve. And like I said, if you're going to spend, obviously, if you're a large spender, you can take my advice. You don't need to, obviously. You kind of have an idea you're spending everything. But if you want better advice, you want to learn how to, get more bang for your buck and profit, be more profitable with the amount of money you spend and get more out of it, then obviously let me know. Again, if you want to support this channel, you want to donate to me to help grow this channel, you can reach me on Twitter, Discord. All these videos at the end of the week get uploaded to YouTube, or you can reach me in the game. Like I said, everything that I get for on this account goes right back into it. So I start to grow stuff so you guys don't have to, and I can suggest the best ideas or ways to grow based off your account. Again, I hope that this helps you guys. I will be putting out more videos for season 1, as well as going over some more battle reports and some other things to discuss. And then, like I said, probably Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday, I'll go over the glittering market, what I suggest to buy. I did in a previous video, but I'll do it again. But I hope this helps you guys, and I'll see you out there, guys. All right, have a good one. Bye.